There's something most men won't admit, even to their doctor. They wake up at 3 a.m. every night, not because of bad dreams or old age, but because they can't stop thinking, is something wrong with me down there? Why don't I feel desire like I used to? Why am I losing confidence in the one area I used to feel strongest? And here's the truth, most of the time, it's not your fault. No one ever taught you how to maintain your sexual health after 50. No one told you your testosterone wouldn't just naturally stay strong. No one warned you that modern life, your habits, food, stress, and even your phone could be sabotaging your hormones every single day. I'm Dr. Hannah, and what I'm about to share may go against what you've been told. But it's backed by science, and more importantly, it's helped hundreds of my own patients feel like men again. Strong, focused, confident, in bed and in life. So if you've ever felt like your energy, desire, or performance just isn't what it used to be, you're in the right place. Let's begin with the first silent mistake that's draining your masculinity and what to do about it. Habit number 1, dehydration. Why less water means more bathroom trips. One of the biggest myths older men believe is that drinking less water will help them sleep better at night. It sounds logical. Less water in means fewer trips to the bathroom, right? But your body doesn't work that way. In fact, chronic dehydration is one of the most overlooked triggers of prostate irritation. Here's why. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes more concentrated and acidic. That acidity irritates the lining of your bladder, creating the false sense of urgency to urinate, even when your bladder isn't full. And every time that happens, it presses against your already sensitive prostate, compounding the problem. I had a 68-year-old patient who was waking up 4 times a night. He thought it was just aging. But once we adjusted his hydration, spacing water intake earlier in the day and avoiding large amounts right before bed, he was down to once a night within 2 weeks. The real secret? Aim for clear or pale yellow urine throughout the day. That's your body's way of saying your system is calm, your bladder is happy, and your prostate is not under attack. Don't fear water. Use it smartly. It might just become your most powerful natural remedy. And speaking of pressure, let's look at the next habit. One many men unknowingly do all day long. Sitting too much. Habit number 2. Sitting too long. The new smoking for your pelvic health. If you're over 50, sitting too much isn't just bad for your back or heart, it's one of the most underestimated threats to your prostate. Think about it. The average American man spends over 9 hours a day sitting, commuting, working, watching TV. What's happening underneath you all that time? Constant pressure on your pelvic floor and prostate. This reduces blood flow, increases inflammation, and worsens urinary symptoms like frequency, urgency, or weak stream. I once had a patient, a 63-year-old accountant, who never made the connection. But after we introduced the 30-minute rule, where he stood and stretched for just a minute every half hour, his nighttime bathroom trips dropped from 3 to 1. You don't need a gym or fancy equipment, just movement. Walk to the kitchen, take a call standing up, or do light stretches. These micro movements restore circulation, relieve pressure, and help your prostate breathe. Your body was designed to move, not marinate in a chair all day. And the best part, just a few changes in posture can lead to a noticeable shift in how your pelvic area feels. Now that we've lightened the pressure below, let's look at what you're pouring in from above, starting with caffeine. Habit number 3. Overuse of caffeine. Why your coffee habit may be fueling the problem. That morning cup of coffee? It's sacred, I get it. For many men, it's the fuel that gets the engine running. But if you're over 50 and dealing with frequent urination or nighttime trips to the bathroom, it might be time to rethink your relationship with caffeine. Here's why. Caffeine is a diuretic and a bladder irritant. That means it increases urine production while simultaneously making your bladder more sensitive. So even when it's only half full, your bladder starts screaming like it's bursting. I had one patient, Bill, 67, who was waking up 4 times a night. He thought it was just aging, but after cutting back from 3 cups of coffee to 1, his nighttime urgency dramatically improved. You don't have to quit completely. The key is timing and moderation. Enjoy your morning brew, but avoid caffeine after 1 p.m. And consider switching that afternoon pick-me-up to decaf or herbal tea. Small shifts like this can mean fewer bathroom visits and deeper, more restful sleep. Because the truth is, your prostate and bladder don't need stimulation. They need support. Now let's look at what might be sneaking into your diet and silently inflaming your prostate. Spicy and ultra-processed foods. Habit number 4, skipping checkups. Why men avoid the one test that could save their life. Let's be honest, most men would rather fix a leaky faucet than make a doctor's appointment. I hear it all the time. I feel fine, doc, why bother? But here's the truth no one likes to talk about. Prostate issues don't always start with obvious symptoms. In fact, the most dangerous changes often happen in silence. The prostate grows slowly over years, and by the time the warning signs, like weak stream, urgency, or frequent nighttime urination, become noticeable, you're already in the red zone. And yet many men avoid the very test that could detect problems early, the annual PSA test and digital rectal exam. I once had a patient, Ron, 62, who hadn't seen a doctor in a decade. He finally came in when the discomfort became unbearable. What could have been managed with lifestyle changes early on now required medication and close monitoring. The lesson? Waiting for symptoms is like waiting for the check engine light to flash. By then, damage is already done. Your prostate needs preventive care, just like your heart or lungs. So if you haven't had a checkup in the past year, make the call today, because the next habit we're about to cover might be hiding in your fridge, and it's silently sabotaging your hormones. Habit number 5, chronic stress, the invisible saboteur of your hormones and prostate. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but chronic stress is one of the most destructive forces acting on your prostate and your manhood. Every time your body enters that fight or flight mode, it releases cortisol, your stress hormone. And when cortisol stays elevated for weeks, months, or even years, it throws your entire hormone system into chaos. Testosterone levels drop, inflammation rises, and pelvic muscles remain in a constant state of tension. It's like having a clenched fist inside your body 24/7. One of my patients, Thomas, 68, used to wake up 5 times a night to urinate. He'd been checked for everything: prostate enlargement, infections, even bladder cancer. Nothing. But when we started talking about his lifestyle, it became clear. His stress from caregiving, finances, and years of emotional pressure was the real root. We added just 10 minutes of daily breathing exercises, adjusted his workload, and the changes were profound. Within 3 weeks, his sleep improved, and so did his urinary symptoms. This is why managing stress isn't just for monks or yogis. It's a medical necessity. Take time daily to unplug. Your mind, hormones, and yes, your prostate are begging for it. Now let's look at another hidden culprit, often disguised as comfort food. Habit number 6, poor diet. How processed foods and red meat accelerate inflammation. What if I told you that your dinner plate might be fueling your prostate problems? For many men over 50, the typical Western diet, loaded with red meat, processed snacks, fried foods, and refined sugars, isn't just bad for the heart. It's a slow poison for your prostate. Here's why. These foods create a cascade of inflammation throughout your body. They increase oxidative stress, trigger hormonal imbalances, and create the perfect storm for prostate tissue to swell and become irritated. And the older we get, the less forgiving our metabolism becomes. I remember working with a 62-year-old man named Greg, a former firefighter. His go-to meal was steak and fries, followed by ice cream and a beer. Over time, his nighttime urination got worse. His PSA levels crept up. Once we swapped in leafy greens, fish, berries, and olive oil, foods rich in antioxidants and healthy fats, his symptoms eased dramatically. Within 2 months, he was sleeping through the night again. It's not about going vegan. It's about choosing foods that fight for your health, not against it. Every bite is either helping your hormones or harming them. Let's now move on to a surprising connection between your waistline and your masculinity. Final insight. Your prostate is not your enemy. It's your barometer. Most men think of their prostate as a ticking time bomb, something to fear, to monitor with dread, or to ignore until it causes problems. But what if that mindset is completely wrong? Your prostate isn't your enemy. It's your body's early warning system. Like the check engine light on your dashboard, it signals when something's off, whether it's inflammation from your diet, hormonal imbalance from stress, or poor circulation from inactivity. When the prostate swells or becomes sensitive, it's not betraying you, it's calling for your attention, it's asking for support. And when you listen early, you can respond with small, powerful adjustments before things escalate into something serious. I've seen it time and again, men in their 60s or 70s who reclaimed their energy, slept through the night again, and even revived their sex life, just by treating their prostate like a partner, not a problem. So if there's one message I want to leave you with, it's this. Your body wants to heal. Your prostate wants to serve you well. Give it what it needs, and it will give you back years of strength, confidence, and comfort. And now, let's quickly recap the 6 daily habits you should watch out for, and the first small step to start today.